If you are seeing blue for the lighting, for the cool and warmth temperature, that's because it is still twilight. It'll be dark shortly. Then it will look more normal. So anyway, as we have a nice Pizza Hut across the street, I have been happy with this camera setting on Super View with the Hyper Smooth on, but not the boost. Even though the boost would stabilize everything the best, this is my happy compromise. So, I got a couple interesting things to talk about on this walk. Last night's was kind of interesting also, but it is a little cool this evening. I actually put on some light gloves. About 48 degrees. So we're gonna walk in more kind of like lit, I guess. But anyway, what I want to mention was I've been checking out LD 2224. That is the Maine gun law, one of them, that just went into effect, which features the enhanced red flag law. It also has the private gun sales law in it. The 72-hour wait period has gone through without the Grand Poobah Empress Mills vetoing it, like some people thought she might, but she's the one that called for that. So that was highly unlikely. But the good news is gun owners of Maine are scraping up donations to file a lawsuit on the grounds of the Maine Constitution, which clearly states that you cannot mess with somebody's right to own a firearm. So it shall never be questioned. The right to bear arms shall never be questioned. Well, they passed a law banning somebody that the first time they ever buy a firearm to protect themselves, because they've never owned one, because they have a legitimate threat to their person, will have to wait 72 hours and hope that person doesn't come find them, rape them, kill them, bury them, whatever. So as we have $3.61 for gas, went down 8 cents. So anyway, the big deal with all of this is the private gun sales. All right, Janet Mills and Maine Democrats had a bug up their rear end about private gun sales through Facebook, they claim, which anybody knows that if they use Facebook, you cannot advertise firearms on there, and you know, it's not going to happen. So they don't allow it. I remember one time I posted a link for my older brother during the ammo shortage of a place to go buy some, and my account got suspended. So, very strange. We got a nice looking sky tonight. Clouds are breaking up. We've had cloudy 2-3 days now. A couple days of rain. So anyways, yeah, the private gun sales. Now, I read the bill again to make sure. I did. You can find it online, LD 2224. And it says it right in the bill that the private sale of firearms through, and it's the way, I'll wait till this noisemaker fart can goes by. That's what it sounds like when you put a coffee can on your muffler, for a muffler, and you stuff a pillow inside it. Anyway, what I was going to say, before I was rudely interrupted by a muffler, or a lack thereof, a muffler, is private gun sales. Now, the law specifically states private gun sales through advertised online or print for profit. So through advertisements, and that's what the law says. You can look it up yourself. It's available to download. There's also articles about it that quote from it, like the NBC affiliate here, one I read earlier. Private gun sales through online or internet advertising. So what does that tell you? That tells me that you can still sell firearms privately. And this echoes what the ATF just did. As we got another loud vehicle going by, I'll wait for it. So, the ATF they're implementing their own law, which is getting sued also, about universal background checks, like Maine just passed into law, and private gun sales. States like Virginia don't have any laws against private gun sales, so the AG of that state filing a lawsuit. The AG of Kansas is filing one, Texas, and some other states. And they should win that, because the federal government cannot dictate to all the states without Congress. This is just another voter influence thing by the Biden administration. See, we're doing something about guns. And that's all it is. Just like the first student debt giveaway he did that the courts overturned. The second one is still being sued, and he's contemplating a third giveaway. These are all just buying votes, and the young people after midterms in 2022 learned that they didn't get their debt forgiveness, so Joe Biden had to do it a different way. They had to use a loophole in an existing budget that they have, so that means they had to cut money from defense or something else. So so here's the thing. It clearly states in the law, clearly, it's not even a mistake, it's not even up to interpretation. It clearly states private, advertised online or in print gun sales. That's just what it says. It doesn't say anything about, okay, I got this friend named Frank or Fred or Frida or whatever, and they need a firearm. Well, according to the law they just passed as written, you can still sell them a firearm as long as you don't make a profit. And what constitutes a profit? What constitutes a profit? And this also harkens to the ATF rule that they illegally passed, which is what I was alluding to, which basically says the same thing. They're focused on people regularly selling used firearms for profit. Like the guy they shot to death in Arkansas, that airport director, with a no-knock warrant before the sun was even up. The guy thought his house was being broken into, and miraculously nobody had body cameras on. They didn't have body cameras. So to me, the untrained eye, that kind of looks like a hit squad to me, hoping that he would answer the door with a gun. Who am I to judge, though? But that's what it looks like. So basically, they're not going to bother with the average Joe Blow if their state allows selling used firearms to sell a firearm to somebody, like a .22 revolver or a 9mm, and you paid, let's say you paid $500 for it, and you sell it for $4. You didn't make a profit. But make sure you get a bill of sale. And there's also forms online in Maine for bills of sale, so you can have that person sign it and state that, and these forms are still good, where they can state that they understand that they are telling the person selling it to them that they are lawfully allowed to own one, and they sign it stating that. So the easy option is something my brothers and I have always practiced, is we don't sell firearms to people we don't know used anyway. It's just not a smart thing to do. I don't think it should be illegal, but you know, if you want to go through that form and hope that someday somebody doesn't knock on your door from law enforcement and say, well, you sold this to this person, then you got to legally produce that piece of paper, probably after they arrest you for it, and that's part of your defense you give your attorney, I guess is the point I'm making. You'd still have a headache to go through, okay? So I wouldn't recommend it. And they are cracking down on that right now because of sales to people from different states that use them in crimes or found at crime scenes that were obtained illegally, quote unquote, even though they weren't under Maine law. Anyway, so to me, the way I took it when I read the law in detail is that it is still okay to sell firearms privately. And what confuses things is another part of the law says that, and what I mean by selling them privately, you can sell them privately without an FFL. That's the thing. So that is still, according to what I read, you can still do that in Maine. Very confusing. What they wanted was, they had a bug up their ass about Uncle Henry's and classified advertisements selling used firearms in print, and also websites online where you just agree to meet somebody in public somewhere and you give them the firearm, they give you cash, there's no record of the transaction, Most of the firearms sold that way are vintage Marlins, Winchester 22s. Nothing, you know, once in a while you'll see an AK or an AR or something. But that's, generally speaking, not what's sold. So because of that, my interpretation of it is it's still legal to sell a used firearm to somebody. You just can't do it for profit, and you can't advertise it. So it's word of mouth. And I'm more than welcome to have anybody argue with this with me in the comments. You can look up LD 224 for Maine for the 131st legislature, which was this year. Last year's LD 2224 is a different bill for something else. So, where does that leave us? Well, the bill also mentions that private gun sales among relatives and family members is still lawful. So after everything I just said, what does that mean? What's the point of putting that in there if the law specifically states advertised online or in print? What would be the purpose of sticking in the family member aspects? So it's confusing. But I'm just telling you what the law says. It doesn't say private gun sales are illegal. It says private gun sales through online advertisements and print for profit is illegal. That's just what it says. Now I'm assuming they've had attorneys look it over while they were drafting it, when it was in committee, I would assume. So what I think it means is, if you want to transfer ownership of a firearm to a family member and sell it for profit, you don't need an FFL. But if you want to sell it online through an advertised classified, online, digital, or print, then you can't unless you're an FFL holder. Now the other part of the bill mentions the curio and relic licensed don't need to do FFLs for curio and relic, which is vintage firearms. So very unusual. And the other update I have, and this is an important one, I found out some things. There's going to be no way to get out of it. The 72-hour waiting period is only going to go away with lawsuits. And if you care about it a whole lot, you can donate to the Gun Owners of Maine legal fund if you can to fight that. And the only way that's going to go away is through lawsuits, because, and this is important, importante, is that I had this big idea. Okay, well, I'll just go buy a firearm in New Hampshire. Well, I guess you can't do that. Can't do that anywhere in the country. Because, well, you can. What I mean is if you produce your ID to purchase a firearm, it has your address on it, the state you reside in, the FFL is bound by federal law to respect the laws of the state that you come from. So if you bought it in New Hampshire, you would still have a 3-day waiting list. So you would buy something in New Hampshire and you'd have to go back 3 days later to pick it up. Or purchase it in New Hampshire and have them transfer it to an FFL in Maine, where now you've added a day or two of mailing, and then you still got to do the FFL locally, then you gotta wait another 3 days. So it would actually make it longer for yourself that way. So the bottom line is there's really no way around it. So that's just how that is. We'll just have to deal with that. Hope it gets overturned. Now, the legislators aren't done for the year. They will come back at some point. And the veto vote is tomorrow for the gun law that I'll keep wanting to call her Janet Reno, because there really isn't much difference. And Janet Mills, might be showing my age a little bit, but she vetoed the what's called, it's not the name of the bill, but that's what I called it, the machine gun bill, which basically the wording in it, like I just said about wording and laws, state anything that shoots multiple projectiles with one trigger pull. Well, that means buckshot, birdshot, pest control 22 capsule shells for pest control, shooting rats with miniature shells, miniature shot from a 22. Anything that shoots multiple projectiles, the law says, which is why she vetoed it. And a lot of people suspected the Democrats did that on purpose so they could turn around later and say, well, this is already law, and now you can't have a shotgun. It would be easy to ban common everyday use firearms, and that's why Janet Mills vetoed it, because I think she realized, even her progressive self, that that was a little too crazy. So the loophole for the private gun sales thing is pretty astounding. That's a big, gaping, large loophole. So, very bizarre. Very bizarre. Bizarro. All right. Guess they only come out at night. So what the hell does this all mean? Well, it means they left a big glaring loophole in the private gun sale law and bill, and most of the gun owners online are talking about it this week, saying that it's still okay to sell firearms privately. Just can't do it for profit or advertise online or in print. So that means basically what they wanted to do is they wanted to shut down the private gun shows, which is what the ATF has also been aimed at. They have been headed towards that. So some of these gun shows have tables, and it's legal to sell firearms at gun shows without an FFL if it's a used firearm. So they were going after the Uncle Henry private gun sales, advertised, people talking about it on Facebook now. I guess if you say, well, I have this gun, I'd be willing to sell it, send me a private message, well, I guess now you're a criminal. The law doesn't stipulate what the hell the details and criteria are for that. So, we're gonna have to come up with coded language. Maybe name a firearm a tic tac, or a paddywhack, or a knick-knack. A shotgun can be a tic tac, or actually a 22 can be a tic tac. A shotgun can be a knick-knack, and anything else can be a paddywhack. So yeah, I got a knick-knack. Shoot me a phone number and a private message. Yeah, I sold him a glass unicorn. You know, a knick-knack. A knick-knack, you dumb paddywhack. So anyways, we're enjoying our walk this evening. At least I hope you are. I guess I'll go down this way. Past the emergency room department at St. Mary's Hospital. I'll head down this ways. So don't forget to do your knick-knack paddywhacks. Give yourself a bone. This old man is coming home. So anyways, that's the main law business on that. Be interested in hearing your thoughts if you have any. Again, that's LD 2224, the 131st Legislature. Hi. So that's what we got. Kokomo Joe. So anyways, we'll walk on a little bit here. Getting a sweat going now. Oh, got a nice little sliver of a moon. You can't see it on here, I'm sure, but it's one of those ones where you see most of the moon a little bit brighter than the sky behind it. And then you have a bright little sliver at the bottom. All right. I don't know where the hell I'm going. I'll hang a right over here, I reckon. Yeah, we'll go straight. We got a police car coming. We got the police. Where are the police going? Sheriff vehicle. Androscoggin County Sheriff, separate from regular law enforcement. They swear an oath to the Constitution. The sheriff is elected. I think we will go this way. So thank you for coming on the walk with me. And I do like my night view setting. It's not bad. And I like the fact that I still live here. You know, I can, you know, like down here, I used to go to school over here, middle school. I used to have a silver gym membership when I was into weightlifting over here, just for 1 year. And was something I just didn't get into, even though everybody in there, you know, because I'm big muscular person, man, you got to keep at it, you'll be one of the best. Well, might have been the case, because even at my age now, 56, I have really good leg muscle definition, thick thighs. I definitely would have had a great physique for a bodybuilder. Problem was, is I liked playing sports like hockey and other things like that. And weightlifting is something you have to do ritualistically, and you also have to have what I call a small penis syndrome, which I don't have, thankfully. And what I mean by that is the people that work out the most are the smaller in stature. They got to be the tough guy. They got to puff their chest out. They have to, you know, small penis syndrome, I call it. They got to be the toughest, biggest guy in the room, so they work out all the time, thinking that's going to make them 6'4", 250 pounds or more. Doesn't work that way. So anyways, this is the Lewiston Armory, where they do have an occasional gun show here. They used to have vinyl record shows. Be nice if they would do that again, actually. I think we'll walk down this way. That's the other thing I like about my walks. I just walk wherever my feet lead me and where I feel like going. So Lewiston Memorial Armory. Starting to get leaves on the trees, which is nice. And we're hoofing along. It is a nice evening. Now that I'm out walking in it, it's not windy, you know, that's the thing. It is chilly, but it's not windy. I don't even want to say it's chilly, it's just cool. How's that? The only reason why my hands are warm right now is I'm wearing thin gloves, because when I first put them on, my hands were still a little cool. It's just now I'm got my blood flowing, and oh, that's nice. They got an American flag in the window. That's a good start for a school these days. So the other thing I wanted to talk about was Scouts of America. That's what they're called now, Scouts of America. They have officially changed their name. They're no longer the Boy Scouts. The Girl Scouts lost tons of membership, and other countries like Australia and Canada, they've already done this, and they saw a financial turnaround with the Boy Scouts becoming inclusive and woke, because now you have girls with the boys, and girls like camping and stuff. I really don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with boys and girls mixing. It's now legally, it'll be parents saying that their little boy is a little girl, and now the Scouts of America are going to be catering to that And they're asking for trouble. Because the reason why the Scouts are doing this is because of financial trouble from hundreds of millions of dollars they lost in lawsuits for child abuse. That they didn't do anything to protect children, they tried to hide it, which is what the Catholic Church did. So it seems to me that part of the agreement to appease the woke district attorneys around the country was for them to go woke. So they have. They did an LGBT ad blitz last year, just before Pride, which, by the way, Groomer Awareness Month is June. It's coming up. And yes, I did call it that. So the Boy Scouts will be running advertising for that. Oh, excuse me, the Scouts of America. So, of course, all the advocates for DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, are now praising Scouts of America, of course. So if they're praising it, it's shit, folks. That's just a fact. So anyways, what does that mean for everybody else? Well, it means you're going to have to entrust your kids to an organization that previously has shown that it's willing to hide damage to your children. So what did they do? They did the same thing that Storytime, Drag Queen Storytime did. Is now they're making it a woke activity, and if you speak up against it or do anything like, say this person is a molester that was convicted and you hired them, well, now they're just going to not admit it and keep it quiet. And mark my words, the Scouts of America are going to have incidents that happen where a trans person that they hired, or a gay person, and I'm not, first I got to put the disclaimer out there. Not everybody that's trans or gay is a problem. What I'm saying is, and to be clear, that they don't vet these people, and just being trans or gay is like okay enough, because if they question that, they're being transphobes. So they're just going to give the person the job without doing the criminal background check, like they did with the Drag Queen Storytime, which turned out to be a mistake because there was convicted child molesters that were doing that. Not all of them. Not all of them are bad people. That's the disclaimer I'm putting out there. They don't allow you to say that with wokeism, because wokeism is a mind virus. It's the woke mind virus, as Elon Musk calls it. You can't question it. You can't denigrate it. You can't use common sense to examine it, that maybe these people that are going to be around your children for a couple, 3 weeks at a time at summer camp might be raping your little boy in the bathroom. So they're going to have problems all over again. This is just the beginning. They actually made it worse for themselves. So there you have it. There it is. These are the same kind of thinking that allowed self-identified, that's the other thing, self-identity. Well, I feel like a woman today. I'm going to use the ladies' room. Don't mind that I'm walking around with an erection in the ladies' room. It's just euphoria. It's transgender euphoria, they call that. No, it's called getting horny walking around the ladies' room. That's what it's called. So they're going to have problems with this. You and I know that. They can't help it. That's just what's going to happen. All right, now which way do I go? I go that way. I'm going to go this way. I'll walk past Bates College. So that's my thoughts on that. And again, I will welcome your thoughts in the commentary. This is a recipe for disaster by the Scouts of America, because we already know what's going to happen. You just know that's what's going to happen. So now the other thing I wanted to talk about is the meat puppet in a suit in the White House who withheld an ammunition shipment. Just one shipment, they said, but it's a big one, to Israel, to try to pressure them to not do what they're doing in Gaza. Well, obviously it didn't work. You're trying to tell a country it shouldn't protect itself when every one of its neighbors want it decimated, wiped off the earth. They're fighting for their survival. They're not going to listen to Joe fucking Biden, who's a senile meat puppet. They're just not. That's just simply the way it is. So nothing good will come from that. He even said this week, and Trump laughed at one of his rallies, like he can't even believe Biden's even thinking about this. Biden is thinking about taking Gazan refugees that have been dislodged and upset from Israel's invasion and bringing them to the United States as refugees. I don't know if you have kept up with politics in Palestine. 80% or more voted for the Palestinian government, knowing that the government will be supporting Hamas. They raised their children to hate Jews and wish they were all dead. And we're going to take them into the United States, according to Joe Biden. Many experts online, big names and small, said that even Biden just suggesting that, to pander to the left and pander to the youth vote, is a death's nail to his campaign. So he done screwed himself by opening his mouth again, because he has a whole bunch of socialists that are actually doing things behind the scenes, not him. And his wife, Jill Biden, is actually, according to about 12 different articles I read today, no exaggeration, she's calling the shots on administrative hires and who they hire. Oh, we got some kind of pond party going there. It's an ABBA song. I hear an ABBA song playing. They're all dancing around that pond that I walked around, and I can't go over there to see what's going on for obvious reasons I don't need to mention. You can hear people cheering. So they're getting ready to leave the college for the summer, and they're having a gala. I'm going to see if we can see something around the corner here. Again, I can't go on the campus. I could in the other video for obvious reasons. Today I can't. But I can try to get a camera shot, see what's going on. Give me a chance to check my mileage too. There's probably a couple hundred kids out there. I call them kids, they're young adults. They're kids. And they got some purple lights, and they were just all dancing to an ABBA song, Dancing Queen. I don't know if it was actually ABBA or not. I can't hear it too well, but I recognize the song. A lot of people have covered those. A lot of these young people are kind of retro. They're going back to, they're dressing retro, they're getting retro hairstyles. Yeah, that's live. That's somebody singing live down there. Well, isn't that fun? So I think we'll cut across over here. '92 Moose. It's a sign for the '92 Moose. I can't tell what they have going on over here. Anyway, we got more blossoms. More blossoms popping out. Well, this has been a fun walk, I think. Interesting things to discuss. You know, that's the problem with all this woke stuff. Normally, you'd be like, okay, well, boys and girls in camp together, learning important life skills and bonding, and I don't have a problem with that. I don't. But you know, they're going to cock it up. They will. They can't help it. That's what woke does. It destroys everything it touches. Everything. Whether it's climate change, firearms, you name it, it screws everything up. You got to be careful what you say at work. You got to be careful who you say something to. White people are the devil, especially if they're middle-aged. They're waiting, make no mistake, they're waiting for all the old white men to die. The old white women, well, they're useful. Most dangerous weapon in this country is the white liberal female. They're virtue signaling white liberal female. Oh, somebody left their skateboard parked outside. Hello, sir. How are you? Yep. The entire campus is hopping tonight. Hopping. They're gonna go back home, enjoy their life. Probably spend part of the summer in places like Italy, France. I know a couple of college people associated with somebody I was once speaking with that, well, they just decided to go to Turkey. They had $30,000 to go have fun, and that's what they did. Well, Merry Christmas. Well, they got all the lights on over there on their football field that I showed in one of my recent videos. They're out on the football field doing something. Doesn't look like they're footballing. Oh, it looks like I think they have lacrosse sticks. I don't know if they're just socializing, practicing, or what they're doing. Doesn't look like a legitimate practice. Anyway, I'm gonna head back. Now I am recording this at 30 frames per second, which is ideal for nighttime and shutter speeds and all that. And because of that, my laptop, that is a Windows-based one, does not have the proper video codec for 30 frames per second. So I have to convert all the files, but I have been happy with the results of that. The picture quality has been decent. Because the other thing you have to do for nighttime recording is you have to put it on low sharpness and also on the flat color setting. To look more natural in nighttime lighting. Oh, you can hear the peepers, listen. This car goes by. The peepers are peeping. I watched a funny DVD last night. I enjoyed it. I hadn't watched it in a while. It's a DVD that I have for Shaun of the Dead, if you've ever watched it. I know at least one of my brothers has watched it, and I'm sure my older brother has not watched it, because it's not in his mainstream thing that would pop up, I'm guessing. Or if he did, he probably thought it was stupid, because I've never heard him talk about it. Which actually, come to think of it, if it was a stupid movie, I'd hear him talk about it. Oh, I saw this movie the other night, it's so stupid. And then he would talk about it the whole time you talk with him. That's just the way he is, so don't confront me none, I don't mind. So anyways, as said in my walk last night, which I have not put live yet because it's still encoding into HD in the YouTube queue, is my younger brother is coming back for next weekend to go shooting. He's flying from North Carolina, so that should be fun. I'm gonna make sure I get some range video for the channel. We'll definitely do that. The rental car that his work got, and the reason why he got a rental car that his work got is because last summer when he was working in Virginia, Alexandria, he came home twice, and every time he came home to go shooting, between renting a truck that can haul what we need to the range, which obviously he knows by now, we don't need to bring every damn thing to the damn range to shoot at. We can just bring our little target system. And so we have ways we can do that. He said he's going to have a Volkswagen Jetta. And the problem is, when you want to rent something like a Ram pickup truck or something like that, it's very expensive. I think he said it cost them over $1,000 last time for the weekend. That doesn't include airfare and all that stuff. So he was going to stay where he was working and not come home, and his boss was like, hey, you got to take some time because you work hard, you need some time off. So I guess his work is footing the bill. So I don't know how much stuff we could fit in a Volkswagen Jetta. So I do know from past experience that I can fit our target system in my car. So there's that. And this time, unlike one of those times he came back, I don't have to have him in the passenger seat because he'll have a Volkswagen Jetta. So he can bring that whenever he can fit in it. I can put the steel target system that we made, which was fun to make, by the way. When I went and bought the first pipes we bought for that, they were in 10-foot lengths, so I actually had to cut a couple of them in the parking lot, actually 3 of them, with a pipe cutter so I could fit them in the car, which I did, and the system worked great. It just, I think it was like 1-inch conduit pipe or something. All the stuff you need they sell on Amazon or eBay for hooks and things like that, or whatever your setup is. A couple of times we've had people with us that aren't as good at shooting, and so they will damage the pipe, which has happened. So I mention that because there's other ones you can make with 2x4s. I would not recommend 2x4s. Conduit piping is much cheaper, easier to cut, easier to set up, put back and forth in the car without splinters and things like that. Just my suggestion. And we're gonna go have fun. So I want to get some range video. Maybe get a couple more 4-gallon water jugs. Try to do something different with them this time. Might be fun. We shall see what we shall see. I just caught a whiff of that city smell when a car went by. I had a flashback to how the subways in Boston smell. Minus the urine, I mean. Just the smell of the subway. It smelled like dank city stuff. Dank. So we're heading back. That's good. They don't have that old dog out there come charging at me, barking its head off. The leash was there, but the dog wasn't. All right. Good walk tonight. I think I'll stay on the main drag. I might watch Scarface after I take a shower. Make something to eat. Well, maybe just have some trail mix and some popcorn or something. Then I had bought a Blu-ray DVD set of the movie Scarface with Al Pacino. One of my favorites. I saw that in the theater like 3 times. At the Parkview Theater, actually. Now that movie came out in 1979, 1980, I think. Hard to believe it's that old. Might have been 82, 81, somewhere around there. So we'll see. I'll watch that, and it's a long movie. It's like 2 hours and 40 minutes or something like that. Mudslide whoopie pies. Hot salmon pie every Friday. Tomorrow's Friday. Salmon pie is good when it has salmon in it. What I mean by that is nobody likes salmon pie that's mostly potatoes. It's like getting a lobster roll that's mostly mayonnaise. Whatever else they put in it. You gotta have that nice chunk of lobsters. This lawn looks pretty quiet without any stuff on it. Not really any holidays to put stuff out for this time of year. We are going to have Independence Day. In July. I smell somebody's burning some wood. I could smell wood burning. 4.16 on the miles. Another movie that I want to watch, that I like to watch this time of year for some reason, is Repo Man. Cool underground movie. Harry Dean Stanton's in it. Emilio Estevez, probably 1982. 84 or something like that. Underground movie. Great soundtrack, which I have, which is a rare vinyl record these days. I think it's been reissued, but that's another good thing too. A lot of these vinyl records, these classics that had a first run, never saw them again, which was typical with soundtracks, unless it was something really popular. And even then, you know, like the Terminator movie, that movie did well at the box office, but very few vinyl records of that. Fortunately, I have one. Mine is a Korean copy that I got a good price on online years ago, which today, ordering things online, I don't even bother with it. Because now, because of inflation and the cost of fuel and shipping and the shipping prices internationally, you can't catch a break anywhere. They are all more than what you would pay for the record you want to buy. So that's just that. It's not cheap anymore. And I've said this on walks before, I'd buy vinyl records that would be selling for $10 here. They would be $7 in Germany, 7 euros, which always translated to about 8 or 9 bucks if you calculated that into US dollars at the time. And you know, we're just talking before the pandemic, 2018, 2019. And the shipping would be 6 euros. Well, 7 or 8 bucks. Order a record from Germany. That's through customs and everything. So you buy a record there that would sell here for $30 and you pay $20 in Germany, 20 euros. Figure out the conversion to US and then the shipping of about $8. Between $6 and $8, because sometimes the shipping would be 4 bucks. 4 euros, I should say. Euro at the time, I believe, was about $1.28 US, something like that. But now with inflation and the pandemic and the European stupidity with their economy, they must be starving. That's all I can figure, because people I see here that are vinyl aficionados, all of them, they're not buying from Europe anymore. It's actually cheaper to buy from Japan. And they used to be expensive at $12 for shipping. Canada's unbelievably ridiculous. France is horrible. The UK now, $35 shipping for vinyl, for a single vinyl record that you pay $8 for, or 8 British pounds, which is about $10 or $11 US. So I was like, geez, give me a break. I could be wrong on that calculation. Have no idea what the value is now. Here's my footprints from yesterday. I got my footprints on the side of the road. So anyways, that's a damn shame. But there are a couple of things worth buying from Japan that are collectible. I love Japanese pressings, especially when they have the OBI strip. So, you know, I don't mind paying $20, $25 for a record, and then $12, $13 for shipping from Japan. Takes a little longer to get here. So there's always the risk of it being damaged. But they seem to be used to that because they're on an island, so they know from past experience. The experienced sellers package things properly. So, as we are walking, I don't know how much battery I got left. I do know I get more memory card minutes. I get more minutes on the memory card recording on this setting because it's using a lower sharpness, a flat color, lower lighting, and most everything with the GoPro or digital cameras in general is triggered by how much light it gets. So there's that. So we're gonna soldier on. I don't know where ducks go at night. I don't think I've ever seen a duck at night. That's why I'm asking. They must go someplace. Do ducks have a little duck den? Where the hell do ducks go at night? Can't believe I don't know that. If you know the answers to that, leave it in the comments. Because I really don't freaking know. Somebody turning up here? Nope. They were just slowing down. See your breath tonight. I do have a sweat going though, but it's definitely cool. Cool as in cool, not cool as in wow, that's awesome cool. Because it ain't cool. All right. Must be coming up on 5 miles here pretty quick. .76. Hour and 23 minutes. It's not how long I was recording though. But I am predicting that the battery is going to run out. I have the other battery, but I don't feel like changing it. Because both these batteries take a long time to charge. I already got video editing to do. And I want to watch a movie, and I want to eat something, blah, blah, blah. I know, my life is pure hell, isn't it? Well, it will be soon enough. So, that's about the time of year I'll be seeing deer. This is also beginning of June, or by the end of May. By the end of May, beginning of June, that's when I'm going to start seeing the baby deer. A lot of times the baby deers are born in the spring. So I think that was the best video clip I got last year. I think out of everything on my walks, that was the best one, stumbling upon that baby deer, which I have on my channel. And I thought it was so cool that the mama deer was in the distance watching me, and the baby deer came right out of the brush right up to me. And I'm still perplexed by that, because after it heard me make a noise, it took off. It was like it couldn't see me. So I don't know what young deer can see for colors and lights, but I was wearing camouflage pants and a hoodie. Might not have seen me. So anyway, I'm going to be ending this walk up ahead here. I want to thank you very much for walking with me. Hope you enjoyed it. And like I said, I like to walk where I just take wherever my feet take me. And we were supposed to get a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of rain today, which we didn't get for some reason. Might get it tomorrow, I don't know. I'll have to wait and see. I haven't checked the app lately. Basically, if you want to know what's going on, check it 1 to 2 days ahead of time of what you need the info for, because any longer than that, they just haven't been good. So, with that, thank you very much for walking with me. As I said, click like and subscribe. Share the other video content, not so much the walking ones. There will be some new content coming. That I can assure you. I'll probably find a couple things to upload between now and range day next week. Might be a couple things I want to talk about. There's a couple deliveries coming of certain things, which I'm not going to mention on here. That has to do with firearms and whatnot. So maybe I could do a couple of ammo discussions. I don't think I've done any videos on ammo or my opinions of ammo. Maybe I could do something like that. Somebody might find interesting. So we'll have something coming up. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Really appreciate it. Have a beautiful night and day today, or whenever you watch this. And have a beautiful week. And enjoy life. So thank you. God bless everybody. Bye-bye.